I mean, we did express those feelings that we do love our husbands so much, but they still get on our nerve. They still, are men. They still do
Man stuff.
right. Sometimes we're just like, what are you thinking? Or what were you thinking?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Hey, Iron Tribe, if there was one thing you could improve about your marriage right now, what would it be?
Would you deepen your connection with your partner so you can both work on getting the results that you desire and deserve?
Or what about bringing more awareness to your marriage about how thoughtful you are, being mindful and intentional in your relationship?
Or do you simply just want to solve complex problems that always pop up in our lives? To have difficult conversations and still maintain some clarity, understanding, and have a feeling of compassionate collaboration.
Mm-hmm. So, why don't we embark on a journey that will make our marriages stronger, happier, and more intimate than it's ever been?
And you can do that with our new 18-part video training series called Raising the Bar. This video training series will help you apply the relationship success formula that we've applied and helped other couples around the world in at least 33 different countries.
And just so you know, Raising the Bar is an acronym and it stands for beliefs, actions, results.
Because ultimately, when we look at our relationships, specifically our marriages, we want to create a belief system that's going to dictate our actions on a daily basis. And it's those actions that are going to yield the results that we want.
Right.
Don't delay. Go to the show notes. Click on Raising the Bar so you can actually get the results that you want by implementing those beliefs and actions today.
All right, let's get ready for the podcast.
Welcome to episode 202 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And we're coming off of a real high from this weekend. Yes, we live in California. We ain't talking about that kind of high.
We're not about Snoop.
No, but we're just talking about how we had a phenomenal weekend because it was just a whole lot of community. So we want to bring you up to speed on some things that are happening in our lives.
Okay, I'm listening.
No, just a lot of challenges. Just like, so we've been approached. We came across some people this weekend that we know, some were new to us, but it was like, oh, we listened to the podcast and, oh, we need a marriage like, and it's funny when you hear us on the podcast or you see the social media, everyone gets this feeling like, oh, your marriage is perfect and da 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 da. It's not. She's not.
Where are you going with this?
No, but I want people to know that you need to surround yourself with so many other individuals because they're what builds up your marriage. It's you put in the work, we do things together, but it's the people you surround yourself with that truly help. And I had to let people know that just like anything else, like there was an article recently that
Babe, okay. Time out. What are you talking about?
I got so much I want to say.
Got right into the middle of it. I'm like, what's happening right now? Okay. We're Snooks and Lovey. We had a great weekend. Well, at least a great Sunday. We were at a barbecue and accountability. So Lovey belongs to, you can see what his shirt says, King's Accountability Group, CAG.
Really? I don't think anyone's ever called it that before.
Okay, I'm sorry. So that's where we were yesterday. It's a men's group, which I'm gonna say this, I love. It's a men's group. Anytime you get men together and they talk about positively talking about their challenges, their wins, some of the issues that they may be having, and like I said, they're positively talking about it. They're not just sitting there whining. And I don't know this to be a fact. This is just what Lovey's telling me. So, maybe they are whining. I don't know. Do y'all come with solutions?
You have to. If you're going to
Yeah.
present a challenge, it's got to
Okay.
be. Sometimes you just lay it all out there. You put it on the altar, like, "Hey, I don't even know what to do. This is
So
what's going on." And you got fellas from every walk of life that you can imagine. Guys that are just starting to make it. You got young guys. We've had kids. I mean, we've had 12-year-old kids that have actually been on our King's Accountability. Just these children have been there because their uncle or their dad or somebody brought them along. I was blessed because I guess I'm on a high because my son was, he attended his first one with me
I'm
yesterday.
sorry.
I know I'm jumping right in again. Huh?
No, your son, ours.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's like you got some extra kids. I
It
don't
was
know
like
about
man. I was talking about the man thing. Look, I'm sorry, guys. We're jumping right into it. But there's something about when you have that accountability with a bunch of kings,
with Kedge.
and and they brought their families, and you saw children. You come together, and it felt like a family reunion. That's what Vic was talking about. Vic Vonico out of Texas. We had guys fly in from as far away as New York
That's cool.
just for the barbecue, just to bring, to come and be in the presence of men that support each other. And it was awesome. My son's going through some stuff, and there were guys there that were lining up to just pour into him.
Our son.
Our son.
Yeah.
Where does that
I'm
happen?
just saying.
And it's just, I just feel blessed. I really do. And yes, this does relate to marriage. We're going to get there. But before we do, we're going to ask that if you enjoy the previous podcast, because I know that this one, I probably skewed it by just jumping the gun, but go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, put 5 on it, leave a review, let other people know about it. Let other people know about the podcast so they can participate as well. And all the other things that we do with Married Into Crazy can be found at marriedintocrazy.com.
Yes.
Whether it's coaching, our new video series called Raising the Bar, the ebook that's out there. There's so many different things that we provide to help build up the covenant of marriage. And it can all be found underneath the new roof, if you will, or our new website, marriedintocrazy.com. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. But don't be shy. Go ahead and see if anything there resonates with you and use it, whether it's the Iron Tribe Facebook community. There's so many different things.
Yeah. Okay. So now you can go into your.
You go ahead. You talk about what you enjoyed.
Well, okay. So typically, we're in the season of school for me, and I'm like, no, I don't like to feel pressure, and I don't want to go anywhere because I need to make sure I get my homework done. I start getting all nervous and everything if I'm cutting into too much time. But so all week we're like, okay, I'm gonna get my work done early as possible, and I'm gonna, I did a couple of late nighters just so that I would be able to go to hang out with Lovey and Cadge at CB's house.
Cadge. No more Cadge. It is not Cadge. King's Accountability Group.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's funny. Anyway, so there was something really special that was happening. That's why he was like, "No, I want you to go. You got to come too." So one of the kings of the accountability had a surprise for his wife and asked Lovey to so what he did was he did like a surprise vow renewal type of thing, little,
Right.
Little ceremony kind of thing, just a rededication, if you will. And of course they called Lovey because, he's that guy who can whip something up, he's an official officiant. So anyway, did that, and she was totally surprised. It was really cute. It was really nice and stuff, and we just really had a good time. So that was a highlight.
And I'll tell you that the crux of the conversation and where it really applies to the Married Into Crazy podcast is there are a lot of gentlemen that were there that were married and they brought their wives. I mean, people traveled from Texas. The gentleman that came from New York didn't bring his wife with him, but he came out for that purpose. We had guys from the Carolinas, Texas. I already mentioned New York, all over California. And they're mostly married. There were a few single, but there were also some people there that were there with their fiancés. And it was an opportunity to commune and have just random discussions about life and moving forward. But a lot of it came down to legacy and building a village around your relationship. Relationships were the crux of the weekend. It wasn't just about marriage, but it was also about the relationships between men. And then the men having a platform on which they can build or allow a bridge to be built between the queens. And another bridge that was built for the children, because there were a lot of children that were brought as well. People brought their whole families, and children that were in the pool swimming and playing, and then they would look up and see their parents with other couples talking about, and they all got to witness the renewal of the vows, 22-year marriage vow renewal. And I was blessed to be able to officiate over it, but it was awesome because everyone was standing up all the way around this yard and witnessing, and because he had his two sons, or two of his three sons that were up there, and able to just talk about a family and what it means to have so many people there to support their love.
His mom was there too.
His mom was there as well, yeah. And it was just amazing. And Snooks felt like we needed to really talk about what it means to have a thriving marriage. I was alluding to it earlier. There was an article written about, I can't remember who the celebrity is now, but it was considered a self-made millionaire. There was a female celebrity, and I'm not good at this stuff, but they were saying that she was the first self-made millionaire in her family. And I always laugh at those titles because nobody is a self-made anything. They want to say, "Oh, I did it all by myself." Oh, really? You did all the publicizing? You were your own publicist? You did all the videos? So you did the graphic design? Nobody does anything by themselves in that industry, nor do we do anything by ourselves in our marriage. Now, it is a covenant between two people, husband and wife. But what we don't talk about often enough are the supporting actors in this film. You can't have a best actor, but well, I guess you can. What was that? Castaway was probably the only movie.
Him and Wilson.
Right. It was Tom Hanks and Wilson. And Wilson was a strong supporting actor.
He should have been up for that.
But it's one of those things. I think that's the only movie that comes to mind where it was just all focused on one individual. That, and then when Denzel did Hurricane and he was in the cell, but even then it was just a scene as opposed to the whole movie. But nothing is done by yourself. And this weekend was a highlight of how everybody. It was a testament to everybody building each other up, so that way we can have strong marriages. Clifton, his wife, and his children came, and it was nice that he was there initially by himself, and then she came through and was able to participate, and his kids got to see other kids, and there's something to that. And I think it's a lost art for us to really focus as much on who we surround ourselves with, almost as much as who we say I do to.
Well, I mean, just kind of like you were saying, it lends to the importance of an iron tribe. And I'm just going to give my little spiel,
Give you a spiel, girl.
My experience, So I didn't know a lot of people. Actually, I knew more people than I thought I was going to know. Shout out to Romney. And
Ski.
got to see her. I ain't thinking about him. He walked by me twice. I was like, if I have to tell you one more time. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, that was a nice surprise. Romney and Ski. And it was great that they came through. They were celebrating their anniversary. They were on their way to Tahoe. Anyway, but my experience was that I didn't know like a lot of the wives. There's actually the only wife that I knew going in, only two. My sister, Alicia, who's married to my brother, and then Courtney. Shout out to Court, who is Tyrell's wife. So I was like, okay, I'm not like I don't come in, and this is how I see myself. I don't come in and I'm just command the room and the party and say, I say hi to people, but and I wait for the energy to, if I feel like it's good energy or if it's receptive energy, whatever. So one of the ladies that was there was actually someone who did our RTB.
Raise the bar.
Yeah, she did the raise the bar, and we got to talking about it, and she was like, um, it was great, because I was like, okay, so tell me what you really thought. I really want to know. And she says, no. She goes, it was actually very good. She goes, it brought up conversations that we would not have talked about, but they were conversations, obvious, that needed to be had, or that's good to have. Sometimes, when we're married, there's a lot of things that we probably should be talking about and we don't talk about it. Or something bad happens and we wait to talk about it. And when we're, there's the explosion or whatever.
Right.
So that's just a confirmation for me that RTB, raise the bar, is legit. Not that we didn't know that, but just hearing someone else say it. And she was like, I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'm being very honest. She goes, it really brought some things up that they were able to talk about and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. So that's one thing about the experience, so y'all need to go on and do the raise the bar, because it's will help you with some conversations that you need to probably have. The second part is the importance, like I started, of the Iron Tribe. So like I said, ladies were sitting around and we're talking, and we're being real people, not like, oh, like Lovey said, not saying, oh yeah, our marriage is so perfect and we never argue, or we never, we don't get into it. I just love him so much. I mean, we did express those feelings that we do love our husband so much, but they still get on our nerve. They still, are men. They still do
Man stuff.
Right. Sometimes we're just like, what are you thinking? Or what were you thinking?
Let me just interject there.
No,
we're not.
Okay. So yeah, you can interject on that one. Keep
we-
it real. Keep it real.
Look, we are still, you guys, I know you're thinking of something. No, it's a blank slate.
Mine's really blank.
I'm just chilling.
But so the being able to have that freedom to really talk about some of the things that we go through or that we experience, within our marriages. And we kind of laughed and we're like, oh God, thank God I'm not the only one, stuff like that. But this is why it's important to have an Iron Tribe, because someone made a comment. She's like, I can't go and talk to my girlfriends about this kind of thing because they're either not married, or they may not be in a happy, thriving relationship. So if I go and I say something about, something negative about my husband, like if I say something that you do that just like, oh my God, he just blah, 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 whatever. And this person who is not part of the, or their mindset is not about uplifting, marriage, they might be like, "Ooh, that's why I ain't married, and that's why, because I ain't got time for that." And did I mean, it would be a lot of negative stuff that they say, and then you might leave feeling some kind of way, like, well, dang, well, she got a point, Seeds are always being planted. That does not mean that they're always good seeds, So it's good that with that Iron Tribe, we laughed and we talked about whatever, but just having the we always bring it back to the goodness of the marriage, and just talking about and having someone to talk to that's gonna be real, but they're also about uplifting the marriage. It's not about, oh, forget him and he's blah 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 whatever. But that was key to me. And as I'm sitting there, I was sitting there, and we laughing and we're sharing, and I was like, this is what's up, because people need this more than they probably think that they do. You need to be around other people who are invested, like you said, in your marriage. What did you say? Don't come to my wedding if you ain't gonna be there for my marriage. something like that.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean,
That's not me. That was Chance.
well, I mean, yeah, okay. Thanks, Chance. Shout out. Ooh. But that's so important. And we don't really think about how those little talks, like I said, those seeds, because seeds are always being planted, how those talks could probably, I won't say probably, they may affect the outcome of whatever you got going on, if that's all you have to go to, if that's your only outlet is the angry girls or the group of women who are not married, or they're not about that life, because marriage is that life.
It's that life.
Is that life, so, and just because there are challenges doesn't mean that it's all bad or whatever. Because I mean, we shared some stuff, and it was so funny because we was like, yep, he does that, yep, mine does that too, oh my god, yeah, you too, yeah. But and just talking
they
through
was talking about that good loving, right?
and just talking through how we deal with it positively. Okay, so this happened, or they said this. Okay, so how are we going to put a positive spin on it and, make it so that you're not being all angry or whatever.
True.
So
Very true. It's interesting you say that, though, because 2 days prior to, as you were talking, I was thinking about this. I was reflecting. 2 days on Friday, 2 days prior to the barbecue, I was on the phone with one of the kings. We live in different cities, and he was talking about how he asked me about the trusts, about living trusts.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Like do we do that for our family and blah blah blah. And I told him, yeah, we got a trust. And he, and he was like, yeah, did you know that the trust can? I didn't know it, but did you know that it could actually act as a prenup? And I just kind of my ears perked up, and like, I won't say the hair went up on the back. You see a dog when all of a sudden the ears just kind of go up. My ears went up, so to speak, and I was like, why would you be even thinking about a prenup? And he was like, oh no, I was just saying. He goes like, but this guy I was talking to, when I'm, we were talking about it, and he was like, oh, just know that you can actually, because it's my boy, and he's a tax dude, and he did it. And I was like, okay, look, I'm just gonna keep it real with you right now. I was like, if you're having a conversation about a prenup, or that's in your mind, then marriage might not be the right next step for you. If this is what you're gonna do. And I'm like, I'm more concerned. I said, first off, because A, you are married, and why are you reflecting on a prenup? And B, who is this dude that's talking to you about a prenup? And so I launched into this whole thing about Iron Tribe on Friday. And I was like, look, you got to have people that are there for you. Now, it's great if they're, and we've talked about this before, where it's great in your singledom, where people are down for you. That's what you want. You need people that got your back. But the moment you say, I do, now you need people that are down for your marriage. And he was like, okay, first off, he's like,
first of all,
the person that was letting me know, this conversation came up prior to me this is newlywed, prior to me getting married. But he was only letting me know because he was breaking down all the different things that a trust can do.
I was about to say, maybe it was just information.
And I was like, okay, so this was just a professional conversation. He was giving you the background on, well, hey, I'm not going to call myself, I'm Mr. Marriage, right? And it's funny, I say Mr. Marriage because we met a brother this weekend. Unfortunately, his wife had passed away.
Oh, yeah.
But it was funny. All the guys there that knew him as Mr. Date Your Wife. And that's a positive thing. Not everybody else's wife, his.
Right.
He had been married for 14 years until, she passed away, unfortunately. But everybody knew him as, you need to date your wife. Date your wife. Take her out on a date. Get out there. Do something. Don't let the sun set on, the romance in your relationship. Yep. And it was funny because it was like, I love hearing that, and he paused, a couple of times, the gentleman, because he wished that his wife had still been around so she could have been in that kind of environment. Of course. But anyway, so I was breaking it down for the other brother on Friday, and I was like, okay, that makes sense now. But it came back to, it's funny that you're bringing this up. And even on Friday, it was just front and center. It was like, okay, no. You need somebody that's down for your marriage. Surround yourself with the right people. And he said, oh, no, trust. No, that was a professional opinion. He said, he's not part of my inner circle. He said, he's not on the board of directors.
That's okay. I know that's right. I know that's right.
And we all need those board of directors,
Mhm.
that board of individuals that will direct us back onto the right path.
Mhm.
And that's what an Iron Tribe is all about. Who's in your Iron Tribe? Who is actually the people that you would want to have your family reunion barbecue with other kings, other queens that are going to lift up your marriage as they're lifting up theirs. Because look, let's just keep it real. I've been at family barbecues. I'm talking blood. I've been at family gatherings, blood. Everybody there ain't down for everybody that's there.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's family.
That's right.
Right? Think about that for a second. When you went to your family gathering, when you have Christmas at your house, when you have Thanksgiving at your house, is everybody underneath that roof down for everybody underneath that roof?
No. Be like, oh, is she here? Ugh, she better not come and say nothing to me.
And that in itself,
Yeah.
just even saying that is like,
Yeah.
Okay, there's already daggers being thrown.
Right. Come in with my gloves on.
But in this instance, everybody there, people walked in not knowing or ever physically meeting. This is the first time many of us
Oh yeah, that's right.
met each other for the first time in person.
Yep.
Because we've only seen each other virtually. This King's Accountability Group are a group of men spread out all across the United States, soon to be international, because I know some international brothers are going to get involved. All across the US, many of us had never met.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you're on that, but I just want to say, just give a first of all, a shout out to CB and Carla for actually hosting it, and also for just congratulations on their anniversary.
Yeah, that's all.
Or
That's
is it
huge.
the anniversary?
22nd anniversary.
Okay. Yeah. That was really, really nice. That was really, really nice. You know, we have a big family. Our family is huge. We talked about beginning of July, we had like 60 people or something like that.
65 people up here eating food in my house.
You know,
No.
so it's a chore to host events that big, and for them to, and it's a chore, especially when they're in family, but to allow people that you don't know, you know, I don't want to call them strangers, but you know,
No,
you
we're
didn't
not.
know.
We're all family, you know. But I know what you mean.
I'm
I know what you
saying.
mean.
Yeah.
And it was catered.
Yeah.
And to do all that catering.
Mhm.
And
It
I
was
tell you,
just really, it was a beautiful thing. Just I mean, just looking around, everyone was laughing. The only complaint was that it was so daggone hot. It was so hot.
but God came through with some breeze every
But
now
yeah,
and then.
you know, it was just really a beautiful event. And I just thought that was, you know, that was very nice.
So look, I don't want to just tell stories. You know, stories are great, but I want to actually have some practicality to this as well. Take a
Mhm.
moment, get out a piece of paper, and write a number on that piece of paper 1 through 5, and really write down the top 5 people who are down for your marriage.
Mm.
Not down for you, not down for your wife, not your sorority brother. I'm a sorority brother. Your sorority sister. I was looking at you and I said,
Fraternity.
not your soror, not your frat brother, not the guy that went, you know. I want to know, not the guy that you know, were in the, you know, in the trenches with in the military. I want to know who, it might be the same person, but
Mm.
write down 5 couples or 5 individuals. If you can't think of couples, first and foremost, think couples, then think, okay, next rung would be individuals, but who's down for your marriage? Who's the person that if they see you, you know, eyeballing, you know, somebody across the way, and they can sense that desire, it's going to check you. Who are those people that are going to yank on your leash and say, hey, get it in order? Not because they're related to your spouse, but because they're down for your marriage.
Mhm. Yep.
Write those 5 individuals down and ask yourself, how much, actually do this. Okay, so that's the first 5. Then I want you to write another 5, 1 through 5, directly across from that. And write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. So the first 5, who's down for your marriage? The next 5, who do you spend the majority of it? And be honest, this is about you, not about us. You're not sharing this with anyone. Be very honest with yourself. If you can't be transparent with yourself, you got a challenge. You got something in front of you need to work on.
Mhm.
But write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, cross-reference those two lists and ask yourself, who's showing up on both lists? If you find yourself with, well, one of the people I wrote down on the first 5, the people that are down for me, but they're only one of the 4 people that you're spending the majority of your time with, that's a problem. Not saying you got to be super social and being out, but when you get together and you go out and you do things, or you know, spend time, or you get on the phone, are those 5 people that you spend the majority of your time with, whether it be, virtually or physically, are they also, does that correlate to the people that are in the first 5? If they don't, then you got some reckoning to do and some changes that you need to make in where you're spending your time.
That's a good thing to say. A good point to make, I should say.
Because when it's all said and done, when you watch these movies, these TV shows that have like CSI this and, all these investigators, and they're like, okay, follow the money, follow the money. If you follow the money, you'll find the solution. Well, if you follow your time is much more valuable than money. So I'm saying, if you follow your time, and you'll see what's really important to you and where you're spending it, because it's that reflection of where you're spending your time is a reflection of what's the most important to you.
Yep, I agree with that.
So do your 2 lists and really think about it. It's up to you whether or not you want to share that with your spouse, because it might be so illuminating that you want your spouse to do the exact same thing. And that in itself is a conversation that probably needs to be had between the 2 of you. Because I know that my wife, she likes who I spend my time with, because those individuals make me a better husband. Those people make me a better father. They make me a better man.
I do.
You do?
I'm the one you spend your time with. So.
You are, yeah. It's funny that I spend 90% of my time with my wife. And it's just, but seriously, do that thing. And I think it'll end up paying dividends for you. I think it'll be incredible, and start to build your own King's accountability group, your Queen's accountability group.
It's just something that you said too. Is like, it is kind of illuminating in a sense, because it's like, wow, I spend the most time with my single friend or whatever, versus who's down for my marriage. Not that he wouldn't be down, but he's not who comes to mind, when you think about, is he down for my marriage? I know they're down for me or whatever, but yeah, and maybe even start to think about, when you've had some challenges and stuff, what were the responses of the people who are down for your marriage and that are the closest to you? You know what I'm saying? Or you're spending your time with.
Yeah.
So
that's a great reflection. Think about the most difficult experience or difficult time that you've had thus far in your marriage. It doesn't have to be traumatic, but just think of a difficult time. You guys weren't getting along. There was some challenges, and you needed somebody to talk to. Which list did you go to? Now, it won't matter if you got the same 5 on both lists. That's a good thing. But if you got 5 different people on both lists, but you're going to the second list, that B list, people you spend your time with, but they're not on the list of people that are down for your marriage, that's a problem. I'd even go back and say, okay, well, if you recognize that, revisit the advice that you got for that situation. Did it get better? Did it get worse?
Yeah.
So there's your homework. And surround yourself with the right people. And you're gonna say, man, they always talk about this iron tribe. Yeah, we do, because it's that important.
It's very important. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's so, what is the saying? You just want the meat and potatoes, just give me the meat and potatoes. But we need vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have any vegetables, that's going to start affecting the green vegetables. That'll start affecting your body some kind of way. The marriage without iron tribe, that's going to start affecting your marriage some kind of way.
That's the truth. And to tell you how sound this advice is that we're giving you, and we didn't create this. It comes from so many different areas.
Oh, yes, we did. No,
it started when we were kids, right? Show me your friends, and I'll show you who you'll become. My mom said that a gazillion times.
Birds of a feather flock together. Just little sayings. Yeah.
And it's true, because if you look at my closest friends to this day, my inner circle, or the people I surrounded myself with in my youth, they remain my inner circle. And I'm fortunate that way, but I think my mom pounded that in my head. Show me who you hang out with, or show me your friends, and I'll show you who you become. And it's funny how that works. But then you also have other people. You have Warren Buffett when it comes to finances. He says that your net worth will be an aggregate of the 5 people that you hang out with most, or that you spend the majority of your time with. If you're doing relatively well, but you hang around with, I'm not going to just say broke people, it's not that, but with a poverty mentality, with the wrong mentality when it comes to finances and a wealth mentality. And I'm not talking about this prosperity stuff where it's like, just do this and you're going to make millions of dollars. No, I'm talking about people that have a wealthy mindset, a wealth when it comes to their health, their spirituality, their love, all that. But when it comes to that, you look around that and you're going to find that, you might be averaging what's around you. And you have to ask yourself, who do I surround myself with? That's finances. In every walk of life, spiritually, financially, physically, gym rats hang out with gym rats. Pizza people hang out with pizza people, so to speak.
What are you talking
I don't
about?
know, but it's just one of those things where you need to really think about that. It rings true in every aspect of our lives.
So I want to say something that I thought was so bomb yesterday. When you guys started talking, I don't know if CB started first, or I think Terrell started first, but anyway, each one of the kings, they got up, they had them all up there,
We'd introduce
and
ourselves, yeah.
everyone they introduced themselves, and they all have a mantra. And I think it's Tyrell that he's like very big on the mantras,
Yes.
but everyone, when they introduced themselves, they had to say their mantra. And it was just so cool to see that. I was like, okay, I see y'all, everyone clapped, and it was just it was a good thing. It was a good thing. I liked it. So
Every single man that was there has a mantra, and we've adopted it. And every one of ours is different. Some are similar, but what it does, it speaks to your core beliefs. It speaks to exactly the calling that you have on your life, and what you want to, who you are, what you become, and what you are yet to become. We speak that into existence, and we talk about it. And what was funny was that this group, I hope I'm not gonna get in trouble for this, but we actually had my mentor and my coach, it was on a call with us yesterday morning. Even though we were meeting for a barbecue, we still had our call early Sunday morning virtually, because not everybody could fly in. So we still had our call. And E.T., Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, E.T. was a special guest on our call, and he chimed in and he said something that was so poignant that I'm not even going to share with you guys, because you need to be a King's Accountability to get
I
it.
was like, well, what would you bring it up for?
Nah, but basically what he says is that, it's one of those things where whatever you believe in yourself and you say, you need to repeat it at least 5 times throughout the day. I'm going to say it's the mantra, but I'm going to tell you right now that because so many things in life beat us down. So many things attack your marriage. I mean, from the moment you leave your home, the weather starts getting warm, then you got people walking around scantily clad. That's an attack, because you're going to see, which could lead to desire, which could lead to, bad steps.
They won't feel that way if I go out.
Now, you and me both, after I saw them photos from yesterday, I'm like, what is that hanging over my belt?
Stop it.
But no, but there's the music, the media, the movies. There's so many things that are just that are attacking our marriages on a daily basis. So what are you saying to yourself every day to affirm positivity in your marriage, to affirm positivity in yourself? And one of the things Eve was talking about was, we need to talk to ourselves at least 5 times a day to remind yourself of who you are and what you are yet to become, so you don't lose sight of it when these other things start to try and become pervasive and intrude upon your mindset.
So, I mean, we've said this before, but have a mantra for your marriage, so when you ain't feeling them, or he made you mad, or she got on your nerves or whatever, you go right to that mantra. You remind yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not that you have to remind yourself, but it speaks to, okay, this this is something that I'm going through, but this is the real stuff right here. I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm compassionate, I'm real accountable, I'm zealous, I'm yielding. Those are that's part of our mantra, but just making sure that you're saying that, you're repeating that, because sometimes, as you said earlier, life happens and it will beat you down, and you have to lift your own self up, because you're not always going to be able to get on the phone and talk to your mom or talk to your spouse or talk to someone else. I have to do it for myself right now, and I got to say it until I really feel it, until I believe it, and you just keep and you keep and you keep. So
Look, that's a beautiful thing. And we're going to talk about it going forward. We're going to have an episode specifically about the marriage mantra and what that means and how to do it. And I'm going to reach out to see if I can get the guru himself, Terrell Muhammad, to come on and talk about developing a marriage mantra. I think that would be huge.
yeah, you guys were introduced to Terrell and it's Terrell, I said Tyrell, and Courtney before. And so yeah, I know that you would love to hear from him again. From them. This time Courtney got to talk more.
Well, we just might have Terrell back just to talk about that.
No, he can't come without her.
See what you did, Court?
I know you, Shane.
Anyway, hey, we want to thank each and every one of you for participating in today's podcast by listening. Please go out and share, go out and let people know, go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcast, and not only put 5 on it, but leave a review. And most importantly, share it with somebody else. Probably the most important thing you're going to do, though, is build those 2 lists. 5 people, 5 couples, whatever. Write down 5 people that are down for your marriage. Then make another list. Who do I spend the top 5 people I spend my time with, and see if those lists coordinate. If they don't correlate, make some changes.
Got it.
All right. So until the next time,
be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.